I don't see anything. Huh. Rig check. Oh, I know why. There we go. Hi, host Eric here. What's the talk with fans, people? Today I'm live streaming the America attack on Squalor. Yeah, we're gonna do some. We're gonna attack some Squalor right now. We're gonna go inside. Now, of course, naturally it follows that an attack on Squalor is going to make my Squalor visible to the world. That's something I'm gonna have to live with. But I'm hopeful by the end of this episode of live streaming the America, in which I launch an attack on Squalor, that the Squalor will be beaten back substantially. So before I actually start attacking the Squalor, let's talk about approaches to attacking the Squalor. You can't just, you gotta think. You gotta think about it a bit. What's my order of operations? I've concluded the best possible order of operations I could have would be to clean out the patio first, because then there's someplace to put things. However, the thing that's going to motivate me to actually get up and do something right now, instead of sitting in front of the computer continually, is that I am going to make some food. So I'm going to clean the kitchen. That's a good place to start too. I'm going to turn off mute the microphone here and pause the camera for a second. Okay, let's go check it out. Oh, geez, Eric, how bad is it? Well, it's not good. I'm not proud of it, but we're going to go clean it up right now. That's what we're going to go do. Okay, a bunch of stuff on the table. It's not too bad. I mean, the kitchen's not actually that bad compared to some of the other rooms in the house. Maybe we'll get to it if I'm feeling it, if the audience is loving it. So here we got some dishes, you know. I need to clean in here to cook because I need the table to surface. The table's covered with crap. So, all right. Some Pringles. And this box of cereal. I'm thinking, well, I don't know where that should go. See, we got these little moths. They like to eat the cereal. I guess I'll put it back there. Put these Pringles in front of it. They fit there nicely. Okay, well, you know what I should do first? First things first, let's take out the trash. So we have a trash can that I can put things in. Okay, so I am now getting trash. And I'm going to pick the bag out of the trash can in this fashion. Take it outside. I'll take you with me. So, I'll show you what I see. Now you're looking at it from my eyes. It's a first-person shooter, as they say. Oh, I can't. Oh, you can't show me that. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's not look that way. Interesting. Ow! Don't run into that thing. See, this is why you should move stuff on the patio before you walk on it. That's why. Okay, so I'm gonna put you back down here. No, I'll put you back over here. Now I've got a trash can. I've got another trash can I could use over here, which I will use. First, I'm gonna move this. This is gross. This is gonna be gross to clean. It's got old grease in it, super old grease. This appears to be clean already. That's good. All right. I do put clean things there. Okay. One way to make a trash can more efficient is to put a bag in it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, here's a handy tip. These boxes are too big. But if you squish it, and separate it takes up less room in the trash can. See? Now what? I'm going to throw this away because this broke. Throw these away. These should go in the fridge. I'm so hungry. I start cooking soon too. Whoa, count in. Okay, this is going to go to the guinea pigs, but I'm not going to take it out to them right now. Los Baros Umari. These are gummy bears. They were on sale at the store, so I got 5 packs of them. They were $5 for $5, so they're $1 a piece. And I thought that was a pretty good deal, I guess. I guess it's about how much they cost in 7-Eleven or something. These things are always good to have around. Problem is, I got the multi-pack. I like the peanut butter one, but whatever. If you're starving and you don't want to make food, then those do the job. Now these things, these Keurigs, are great, but they're only useful if you have cups and ideally disposable cups, you know. I've got to eat something right now. I'm about to pass out. All right, so forget about making fancy food. What do I I got? Look at the cans. Well, you want to see? Okay. The tuna. I got. Really soft. Can you see back up there? What's back there? Pig's feet? I don't remember buying any pig's feet. No, I don't want any of those things. I could have tuna. I don't really want tuna. That's spam. Look at that spam. Be right back after this commercial interruption. Spam. Welcome back. What am I going to eat? That's the big question. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the easy thing. Something I would always do when I'm feeling lazy. I've got taquitos, Mexican taquitos. Ah, cha 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 cha. Mexican taquitos, taquitos, taquitos. Deli Mex, the next generation of Mexican taquitos. Combining American deli technology with Mexican taquito know-how. Deli Mex is the future in which everyone lives. I live in Deli Mex. Oh yes, it's 100 years from now. 100 years from now, everyone lives in Deli Mex. What about right now? Nobody lives in Deli Mex. When will they start moving there? Later on this evening. Fascinating. That is absolutely fascinating. You want to see what I'm doing now? It's really, really interesting. Oh my God, you are going to love this show. Look what he does. He puts stuff in the microwave. He shows us how he does it. So if you've never used a microwave before and you'd like some lessons on microwave usage, side of the microwave, it's where the taquitos go. Now, you have to look at the box. That's the thing. It'll tell you what to do. Let's see what it says. It says, is it on here? What does it say? Where are the instructions? Here they are. They're on the back. Wrap 3 taquitos in a paper towel. Cook on high for 1 minute and 15 seconds. Well, I've got 6 taquitos. I like to cook them a little longer because otherwise they end up cold in the middle. So I'm going to go 3 minutes. I have to wrap them in a paper towel. Otherwise, they'll kill you. Don't push that button! I've become enraged taquitos, sending their crunchy shells into people's eyes. That's totally what's gonna happen if you anger taquitos. Everybody knows that for sure. Okay. So, I was happy. Except somebody, oh, we do have cups. We have cups for coffee now. I forgot I got these. That's good. I can stop going and getting coffee. Not that I like this coffee so much. It's just that it's easier to stay here than it is to go someplace. And these are things Delilah gets. She likes to eat these. I've eaten one too, or a couple of yakisobas. There's a better kind of yakisoba that is better than this, which is it's not dry. It's moist. And it's in the refrigerated section of the supermarket. Now, once I get these taquitos done, then what's going to happen? Well, then I'm going to need to accomplish some sort of beveraging. So, what is that going to look like? Well, I've got a multitude of choices, frankly. And one thing I do regularly purchase from the grocery store is beverages. Because I like to drink beverages, and I like to drink soda. I drink a lot of soda. I have a weird fixation with beverages because of a relationship with alcohol, which is, for anybody who happened to see this who never doesn't know, I quit drinking a couple years ago. I was what they call an alcoholic. Anyway, since that has occurred, I've had a weird relationship with beverages. I find them somewhat precious. Like, I appreciate what they offer me. They offer me sweetness that the palate accepts as an alternative. Not that I'm so crazy about it anymore as I once was. I'm not really at all. But the totem remains. You know, the totemic magic that you use to accomplish such a thing remains after the deed has been done. It sort of has to. It would be blasphemous otherwise. Hubris. I've been thinking somewhat lately about what you might call varieties of arrogance. The one good way to see karma in action, to see the universe working, is for me to, if I were to try this, I'm pretty convinced it would work, but I'm not going to try it because that's the second level of violation, so to speak. But when I do say something, when I set time objects in motion that are the wrong kind of arrogant, I guarantee some comeuppance in the universe. It always seems to happen. So I'm pretty careful about it. I try to keep that shit in check. But you know, the other day I was saying, it was funny, somebody, Casper was frustrating me. She was frustrating me because she was doing that thing that happens where people are like, well, because you understand the impacts of what you're doing on other people, then it's not authentic. I don't know how to deal with that, right? Because I mean, are we all doing that on some extent or another? Like trying to craft the behavior of others, trying to craft the perception of others, trying to craft, I don't know, it might be more natural to be so lost in the moment that all of your behaviors are just sort of like pure joy responses to decontextualized vignettes of idyllic rural, utopian whatever. But that ain't how shit goes, dog. That ain't how shit goes. So you better watch yourself. I came in here to clean, but I totally 100% consider this eating thing an SI thing, where I'm attending to something that I have to attend to, even though it doesn't sound that fun. I prepared to prepare my drink, but I didn't actually prepare my drink. Well, we have tea bags. Tea. Iced tea. Whoa! That's the thing. I'll show you the arrangement right here. We're going to figure out where to put these things, I guess. But the kitchen's not such a big problem as some of the other rooms in regards to organizational structure. As you see, it's just falling all over the floor. There's a little basket, as you hear, I guess. So, I don't like these straws here. Delilah wants to use straws. She's concerned about the whiteness of her teeth. And I think she had to do that when she had braces, got in the habit or whatever. But I don't like those straws there. I think these lids, like this basket here, this should house all the lids, I think. They're not all going to fit in there, obviously. Like this box probably doesn't need to be. That's fair to say. Okay. Hey, meow meow hands. She's trying to steal my food. Well, she's not wanting to eat it, but she just wants to investigate it, you know. So these are beans. I don't even have a grinder. I don't know if they're giving those to us, I don't know. These are lids. I put these in a lid thing. Oh my god, Eric. Are you putting puffs into a box? That is so cool. No, I'm putting lids, dude. It's even cooler than that. Lids? No fooling, mister? Nope. No fooling, mister. Well, golly, no fooling, mister. It's something that children said a lot in the 1950s. They were instructed to do so by everybody in society. Now, children. Well, golly, mister, no fooling? Who said that? The dogs want taquitos too, of course. They should have some, of course. It's kind of hot though, Lacey. Here. You got it. It's yours. Eat it. Have contact. Here. Did you steal Compton's food? Eat it, Compton. Good. What tell me you didn't like it? Alright, so I'm not a little progress in this vision, but you know, I'm not done. I'm not done making progress. I'm progressive. Progressing how? I progress, that's how. What do you progress towards? A better America. Really? How are you going to do that? Well, as I keep informing everybody, I'm going to run for president. Now, at the moment, I've got 0 viewers. Some people would say, based on those numbers, Eric, that the simple run for the presidency is unlikely. Well, some people might also point out that if I were going to successfully run for president, I've left way too much of the trail of opinions. Let's keep yourself squeaky clean to run for president. To which I say, friends, fellow Americans, citizens, that's exactly what I want to change. Squeaky clean. Now, we need to stop being lied to, some of these women. That's fine. All right, I will. Some people might say that I don't seem serious enough to be president. I make too many jokes. That I'm too strange, too absurd. That I'll never win. Those people are wrong. I will win. I'm going to become president of the United States. Why? Why do I want to be president of the United States? Well, because I believe, and I am convinced that I can convince you if you are convincible. That is to say, if you respond to reason and logic at all, if I can get the word out enough about how things ought to be, about the approach I want to take, about what that's going to look like, and about the benefits to you personally, I believe that I can, if not immediately, over time, change your reality such that it better reflects an ideal reality in which only those realities which afford equal dignity and protection to all realities that also afford dignity and protection. That model is better than status quo. I believe that I can convince America, if I explain it enough, that you shouldn't have to register your car. That it's wrong. That it's plunder. That someone ought to be held accountable. I believe if I can get the word out enough, that I will be able to change the paradigm such that Americans think about which policies they ascribe to and also think about under which frameworks they ascribe to them. I want to make America, the American electorate, smarter. I don't want to focus on the ends to drive my process. I want the process to naturally produce the ends. That's why my approach provides clear guidelines about what will happen, how that, well, not what will happen exactly, but how the decision-making process will be done. How will a decision be adjudicated? According to which criterion? And how much will each of those criterion would be weighted? So you actually will have a good idea of what to expect, much better than in the status quo of any other candidate. Anyway, and you'll have a set of tools in place to attack me with if I fail to fulfill those. You're able to point to those mechanisms. I ascribe to them. I affirm that. You can attack me in two ways. You can attack me later by saying that mechanism didn't achieve the outcomes you said it was going to achieve. Or you can attack me by saying you're not adhering to your own mechanism. Okay? And I gladly indicate, I will right up front, that my mechanism is absolutely applicable to me. So I'm not planning on holding myself above the law in any way, shape, or form. Additionally, Livestream the America, well, this is what I want to do while I'm president. I'll live stream the whole day. Everybody should get to see the public's business. Some people argue that a lot of that stuff needs to happen behind closed doors. Bullshit. That's what I say to that. Bullshit. Those decisions would be better made in the light of day. We need people up there who are of strong enough character to withstand the scrutiny, a strong enough mind to answer the arguments, strong enough will to make shit happen. And that's me, host Eric. My name is Eric Strauss. I live here in Temple City. I live here in this squalor, but I'm trying to clean it up. See, I'm a regular human being. Doesn't make me less presidential. Doesn't make me less capable of leadership. Capacity to lead should derive from the ability to explain oneself and willingness to explain oneself. The ability and willingness to have conversations about the mechanisms of accountability, how they will be applied in advance before going in, to initiate those conversations himself. That's what we need a candidate to do. I want to have those conversations with the American people. I want to have those conversations with you as an individual. I want to change the way we think about such things, such that we are no longer successfully bamboozled into not noticing the threats of force. And to remember that supposedly we're bamboozling ourselves, but it doesn't feel like that. When I have to pay the DMV however very much to put a sticker on my car, to register my car, it doesn't feel like I'm engaging in business that's even remotely mine. For example, the state of California might advocate that there's a certain reason, X, Y, or Z, for this car registration fee. But even if there is, it doesn't justify the threat of force or the claim upon an individual's property. So part of this presidential campaign that's going to be launching after the current campaign and stuff, part of the purpose of it is to address that, to return the burden where it belongs. We have stopped asking the question, why are you taking any money at all? When we start with that question, then the question of how much money to take becomes a lot more manageable. Well, we have to take a little bit. You realize you're taking it at gunpoint from your own citizens, right? That these people are not cooperating at all. You're forcing them under threats of financial or criminal ruin. And so we better be really, really careful about this. Now, I'm a pragmatist, as I've said before. I'm not looking to dismantle government all at once. I'm not looking to cause disruptions that are more harmful. They're so harmful in the short term that they discount the massive long-term benefits. People get scared when somebody says short-term, long-term, like, oh, well, that means he's going to make us pay more taxes in the short term, and then in the long term, we get to pay less or something like that. No. The short-term pain will be isolated to those places where the pain is directed. So is it going to hurt Homeland Security people who work for them when I cut Homeland Security? Yeah, it is. It was a mistake to ever promise them anything in the first place. It existed because they weren't needed. We have a federal criminal investigation unit. It's called the FBI. And the FBI frequently exceeds the scope of its investigatory powers. That needs to be curtailed. We will do so under a Strauss administration. Additionally, we need to talk about the role of the federal government. The problem is existing in the status quo, judges have made precedent the predominant deciding factor in any given legal issue. What some previous judge said was the correct interpretation of it. However, because of that factor, they've essentially destroyed all legitimacy of the law. If, in fact, precedent should be the guiding force, then there's no reason why nobody's guilty of anything or everybody's guilty of everything, because in the existing precedent are reasonings that bear so little scrutiny, have so little credence, that if you applied their logic to anything else, anything goes. Completely arbitrary. The example I consistently use, I go back to it because it's an easy example. The marijuana plant in the backyard never leaves, never sold, is declared subject to federal oversight because of interstate commerce. If that's the case, and precedent is the deciding factor, then why can't I go into any court case and say, I am not subject to that because that wasn't X, it was something else. We know it was something else because it might have had an impact on something else. And we know that's the principle we have to apply in cases of law because the Supreme Court said so. Certainly, I'm going to make the argument at some point. I'm going to make that among many, many, many other arguments. I know people have attacked this stuff before. The internet is littered with embittered libertarians trying to make change to the courts and getting bonked over the head with the whole thing. Well, I am going to do what I can do, as much as I can do, as circumstances demand permit. To the extent that I have opportunities and time, I will go fight those fights. I'll fight them one at a time. I will fight them and I will film them whenever I can. One possible way that I could fight a fight to go to film myself contesting a parking ticket, be denied the opportunity to film in court, and to be informed that they didn't have to allow me to film in court because of this ruling over here, then I would immediately file an intent of notice to appeal on the grounds that there's a distinction. The distinction between that ruling and this case. In this case, it's a parking ticket. Well, what if that case was a parking ticket too? In this case, it's a parking ticket for expired registration tag. Well, what if it was that same thing over there? Well, in this case, it's in a city-owned public lot that is for profit, that gets parking meters. And and in that case, he was guilty of the parking meter violation. But in this case, I had money in the meter. The officer had no reason to stop and check that. Something like that. The way to bury the status quo is to turn all of its abuse upon itself. The same thing you got to do in a debate round. If the opposing team is defining public infrastructure as saving kitty cats from getting crushed, and yeah, of course we should do that. The problem isn't the argument that we shouldn't crush kitty cats. The problem is the fact that you aren't defining the word fairly. So that's abuse, it's called in debate. That's not fair. If we define the word like that, we can't win. Well, don't ever make that argument. That's not fair. Make this argument. Oh, that's the rule? Great. Let's apply it to you. You should always do. I stopped cleaning and started lecturing. I should resume cleaning. I'm going to finish these dishes. I made some good progress. I've got a couple more dishes to go. I got a little sidetracked because I was talking about politics, which always sidetracks me. Why does politics always sidetrack you, Eric? Well, I am running for president eventually. Not right now. Remember, I'm not ready to run afoul of the FEC quite yet. When I do, it's going to be 100 cows and 57 meows and 1,000 pews and a whole lot of other stuff. Wow, that's exciting news there. I know, isn't it? That's a lot of peows and meows and exciting other stuff. These I took down so I could put the laptop there. It's not a good place for them anyway. This clothespins is down to just a few clothespins left. I don't know where all the clothespins went. We use them for, like, you know, bag clips and stuff. I hate these things, but it's fine. I don't like these things because, look, it's so tall now. It won't go in. There. Okay. This got wet. This is no good, I bet. They look fine. Actually, they're fine. Okay, so what do you do with something like this? What do you do with these oatmeals? Well, I'm going to put them down here. Because that's the sort of question that really doesn't have an answer. Nobody's ever figured that out. How do you store space objects in such a way that isn't at least somewhat a problem? Like right now, it's great. But when you want oatmeal, it's further away from you than you'd like it to be. So that's an ongoing problem in space. That's why I prefer not to reside in space when possible. So I spend most of my time in time, but now see, this glass I've cleaned it a million fucking times, and look how dirty it looks. It's disgusting, and it's gotta be clean. I keep washing it, washing it, washing it. I don't know why it looks so dirty. Alright, so in cleaning dishes, if you have a lot of dishes, you should fill up the bottom reservoir thing. But sometimes I just have a couple, I won't do that. At the moment, just have a couple. Well, actually, I have a little bit more than a couple. I'll probably go with that. I'm more attentive to these sort of matters these days because California is amid a bad drought, and I don't want to waste water. So I do tend to attend to thinking about ways of washing dishes that are environmentally sensitive, because I care about that stuff. I do care about it, and I think it's a legitimate area of governance, as I mentioned before. So I don't know if there's anybody who's watching this live, but because it's possible that some people are, then I'm going to recap a little bit about what I'm doing, where I am, what I'm talking about, and why. Well, first of all, I'm Eric, host Eric Strauss, the guy who is in charge of talking to famous people, and I am also the guy who's going to be running for president He's going to be announcing his running for president officially and sometime next year. And while I'm considering the decision still, I want to present to you a lot of ideas, a lot of reasons why anyone and everyone should vote for me. But I'm also doing something special today. I'm attacking the squalor. Yes, attacking the squalor means tackling the fact that my kitchen is a shithole. And when I say my kitchen, I'm doing that intentionally to try to pretend as though other rooms are not a shithole, when actually the kitchen is the least shitholey of all the rooms. Well, the garage is getting better. Now this here, this is supposed to go up here. And the reason it goes up here is because you've got this west-facing window here that in the afternoon the sun comes in. It gets very hot, you know. So this deals with part of that. But ideally, I need a bigger one, or I need two of them because I want to cover the whole thing. And ideally, I'd have something on the other side too, so no light gets in, because I don't really want the light from there. It's always unwelcome. It's never cold enough to warrant late afternoon sun. I mean, every once in a while in winter it might be, but rarely, so rarely that there's just, yeah, what I said. All right, so now I'm going to fill this basin a little bit with some hot water and some soap, since I elected that there were enough dishes here to warrant this method over the other method. This colander is not dirty, it's just moved there. So I'm going to put it someplace else. And the endless shuffling of space objects from one location to another location and then back again, and I try to figure out some sort of arrangement that's satisfying, I continually forget that the core problem, or fail to behave as though I remember, I guess is a better way to put it. The core problem really is that space objects need maintenance in ways that are really annoying. So, you know, something doesn't change its shape to be more accommodating to you and fit in the spot better. You can't change its shape for that purpose like you can with a time object. You know, if I'm making a picture and I want it to be X number of pixels by X number of pixels, I scale the image. Well, I can't be like this, for example. I'll show you. This brown thing here, it sticks out. It totally sticks out. It's too big for that. But I can't scale it down to put it away and scale it back up to when I use it. I should be able to, and they try to make objects that can do that. They like telescoping things, you know, telescoping. But even they're still taking the same amount of total space in some sense. They just are taking it up inside instead of outside. That's not really a very good spot for that, but I don't use the colander very often. And what you want to do is, for sure that you don't use it very often, you want to Jenga it together. You squeeze as much of it in a little space as possible. I gotta get a beverage and rest for a second. Okay, this has enough water in it. It's not all the way filled up or anything, but it's enough for dishes. So I'm gonna turn that off, and I'm gonna get myself a drink before I, once again, feel lightheaded and stuff. I don't eat enough. I get dehydrated as well, and I don't sleep enough. And these are all problems that I have. But that's why we do some SI work occasionally, to get on top of that stuff. So I'm going to get myself a granola bar here. You know, that's the kind of people we love. I'm going to get that drink. See, one of the advantages of being president would be that there'd be someone there to walk around and hand me food and stuff. Remind me to eat. Today's beverage of choice is mug root beer. If you're a vibrant young go-getter, then choose the drink that reflects your mood. Mug root beer. I'm doing the corporations of America a favor by advertising their products for free. Why? Well, I enjoy them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have purchased them. So, Quaker, you get your shout out too. These ones aren't that good. Not the chocolate chip ones aren't that good. The peanut butter ones are good. But it's a few extra calories, which I need. It's a very hot day today. And when you get extremes in temperature, I mean, not hot like it will be in summer, but hot. When you get extremes in temperature, the rest of the stuff needs to be more solid, locked in, you know? So stress on you from multiple angles. You can fall back on some of the other spots if you have those well cushioned, but if you're hungry, thirsty, tired, you know, hungry, thirsty, physically tired, and sleepy, you don't have many defenses left. I got a good night's sleep last night, which is good. Man, it's hot. Okay, so when it gets hot like this, I do have an air conditioner, but it's too small for the room. So I turn on and open the front door and get some air coming through here. Okay, so attacking the Squalor. This isn't really it. This is not the Squalor. This you might call Squalor in training. But I'm checking that right now, you know. That's the whole point of it. I've got to add some more water to that. More soap. Yeah. That should be good. Okay. Good, the dog's new water. It's their favorite beverage. Contents. Hot, 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 hot. Okay, so this will be Lace's water because they like to have separate food and beverage troughs, or else they fuss at each other. Hey, stop your barking! Or else they fuss at each other. Then after that, we're going to take the carrots to the guinea pigs. I think we'll do a little bit of work on the back patio, and then we're going to move to the living room, which is really gross. You're going to really be shocked. Lacey, will you shut the fuck up? Stop it. That's enough. All right. Hey, freaking, god damn it, Compton. So there's a disgusting dead lizard by the front door that I just don't want to look at. I'll show you when we get in there, into that room. At the moment, though, we're going to go outside to the patio and do a little work back there. Because I need to go feed the pigs these carrots and give the pigs more water. So we'll go do that together. I think on my long list of things I need to do that I keep not doing is that I need to take down and rebuild their house. It's been in one spot for too long, and so it starts to pile up with poo and stuff. I mean, guinea pig poo is not very gross, but it's grosser than something that's not poo. As long as that something is not vomit or something. Okay. It's grosser than something that's not poo unless that something is vomit or something. There's a really good amount of information I gave you there. Useful. I mean, you didn't know before. Compton, will you stop? Ah, this dog. Okay, let's put you there. And probably have to move a couple things here. But, all right, this is the patio. I'm going to show you. We've got a few areas of concern, I guess you'd say. This here, you see it, it's a little baskety thing. Not something I want to throw away for sure, but I don't know what to do with it, right? This old typewriter has been sitting on the rain and stuff. It's shot to hell. That could probably be thrown away. I don't think there's any reason in keeping it. And then various other things. That stuff. See, the ground is kind of it's got a bunch of leaves and stuff on it. I got these things I found places sometimes, like this. I found this table. It's a good table. It's gonna be useful for me. So the question then becomes, where can I best put this laptop so as for the viewing audience to see what's going on? I'm gonna put it over here. Yes, you do. Okay, dogs chill. I'll be right back over here with you. I'll just move this. It's heavy. That one is super heavy. Okay, so I moved a couple of heavy pots and another heavy stuff. It's tiring. Let's take a break. I'm gonna stop this broadcast for a while. I made some progress. All right, that's part one.